Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is January 12th already. Can you believe it? You can see your breath. It's a cool, crisp morning here in Vail Village. We have a great show in store for you. We have some brand new terrain that's just recently opened up at Beaver Creek. We also have some sparkly things to talk about, and of course, a look at your weather, your headlines, and so much more headed your way on this Wednesday edition of VDL, which starts now.
It's winter and we are back. VDL streams everywhere.
On the mountain, off the mountain.
On every screen.
On Facebook, YouTube.
On Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Spotify.
And now, we're on Outside TV 17.
Live and on demand, 7 days a week.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody, on this Wednesday, the 12th of January, already this far into 2022. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Trisha Swenson, coming to you live from our Eagleville studio. Ashley LaFleur will be out in Vail, roaming around, giving us a scoop on what's going to be happening today. But a lot of things going on in town, on the mountain. We've got Martin Luther King Jr. weekend coming up, so a lot of visitors will be traveling here for the holiday weekend. So we want to get you prepared for everything you need to know. But thanks for joining us, and if you're joining us live, hey, make sure you chat with us. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook during our live show between 7 and 8:30, and you can use the chat feature. Ask us a question, and make sure you pay attention to our new YouTube link. If you search Vail Valley Live on YouTube, you'll be able to check that out. And new year, new YouTube link. But on the show today, like we mentioned, we're going to have Ashley roaming around Vail Village and then McCoy Park. I was back there again yesterday. I've been there Monday. I was there again on Tuesday. And we're going to learn some details with Rachel Levitsky. And we also got to see the brand new Eaton house. So that's Earl Eaton, the co-founder of Vail. He used to roam those hills and trails of Beaver Creek long before it was a world-class ski resort. And then also at Knapp Harvest, did you realize that the mushroom is the ingredient of the year, according to the New York Times? We'll learn more about that with Ken Hovey and Carrie Hogan. And then Lance Friday is going to be showing off some Cartier watches at Betteridge. We'll give you that, weather, headlines, and so much more. Stick around for the headlines. We've got some information about that mountain lion that was spotted around Lion's Head last weekend. So that's coming up. But first of all, let's give you a quick look at the weather. We're going to see sunshine again today. If you liked yesterday, you'll like today. We're going to see sunny skies with, and this weather brought to you by the Owlets at Silverthorne. And we'll see sunshine today, temperatures reaching into the 30s, upper 30s at that. We're pretty chilly right now. We're in the single digits, the low teens, depending on where you're at in the valley. And then as we go through the day, mid to upper 30s, overnight lows back into the teens with those clear skies. That's going to drop our temperature once that sun goes down. And then tomorrow, even though we're going to have a little bit of cloud cover, our temperatures are warming up a little bit. We'll be in the mid 40s. And then overnight lows with that cloud cover sticking around 24 degrees. And for the next couple of days, here's what you can expect. As we roll into the holiday weekend, a few more clouds. Temperatures will be cooling off for your daytime highs as well. Saturday into the 20s and then Sunday into the 30s. So a little chance of snow, according to Joel Gratz at OpenSnow.com. This storm system coming in kind of for your Friday, maybe 3 inches on Vail and Beaver Creek. So we're not seeing a ton of snow out of this storm, but hey, we'll take an inch here and there. It all helps overall. And it's been so fun to get out there. Like I said, I've been in McCoy Park the last 2 days, and just that fresh snow and the snow in January. I know people like, oh, it's too cold to go out. No, you gotta go out. You could take some hot chocolate breaks, but the snow is so awesome and consistent in January. It's one of my favorite months to really get the good snow. It's squeaky snow. It makes noise. It's so cold, but you're gonna love it if you get out there. It lives open at 8:30 on Vail Mountain and 9 over at Beaver Creek. And Ashley LaFleur is hanging out over in Vail. So let's bring her in for the train report. Ashley, we opened up Blue Sky Basin this weekend.
Yes, so new terrain, and also, I mean, with McCoy Park opening, it's exciting that we're starting to see things really just kind of get into full swing. And you saw, we already have people making their way to the mountain this morning. I, of course, am on the covered bridge,
Oh,
and
yes.
I
So
tell you what,
pretty.
it's about, yeah, it is so. I mean, it's so gorgeous, right? Like a little winter wonderland out here. And it's about 17 degrees, so that is
Okay.
like a heat wave compared to the last time I was out here, and it was like hovering around like 3. So
Yeah.
it's brisk, but there's a lot of people out, with their dogs and, getting coffee, making their way to the mountain. Of course, the lifts don't start until 8:30, but it's definitely lively here. We've got some construction happening behind me over by the covered bridge store. So
Yes.
people are
Wow.
out early working. And Teresa, look at how cool this is. I love just these little things I appreciate so much about being here in Vail Village. But look at the icicles hanging off of
Oh
the
my
bridge. Just this one
gosh.
little section with the lights, and then you still have the river moving
Oh.
below it. I mean, it's just beautiful. And I mean, so hard to believe that we're already at the 12th of January. How did that happen?
I
It's the
know.
12th.
Yeah,
What?
we're almost midway through the month, the first month of the year
Yeah.
and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? I'm glad you pointed out those icicles. I mean, it's just so neat the way that nature forms its own art. I mean, I just love it. It's just so thing, and it's so nice to just take a little break and notice those kind of things. Just stop and smell the flowers, so to speak. We don't have the flowers now, but stop and view the icicles. That could be our winter
Yeah.
version of that phrase.
I like that. I like that very much. But yeah, I don't necessarily spend a whole lot of time in either one of our mountain villages these days. So when I
Yeah.
do get a chance to come over here, it is so nice just to be able to explore and to really just kind of embrace the magic that we live in, which is, sometimes it's so easy to take it for granted. But yeah, loving it.
Loving it.
Loving
I
my
know.
job this morning.
Good, good, good. Well, it's a little bit easier when it's 17 degrees above zero than when
Yeah,
it was
that
3 degrees last week. And I love how Vail keeps up, and Beaver Creek do. They keep up their decorations for a good long while, usually about till maybe March or so. So you really have that holiday spirit kind of thing going on through, and it's so pretty, and they put so much effort into those decorations that it looks great behind you. It's still very photo worthy. I think the covered bridge, the 10th Mountain Division statue, those are some of the two most photographed places in Vail.
Oh yeah, and something that I should point out too, that we talked about this when we saw the town employees putting the decorations up earlier this season, but these are all real branches.
I
Like
know.
somebody took the time to bind them together and then to create this gorgeous display. Those are real pine cones as
Yeah,
well. So like the
it's so
amount of
lush.
detail that you can find. I mean, and this is just one little piece of the village, right?
Yeah.
Like there's we'll take a tour of some other decorations that are still up, making you feel like you are just full on in like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
a lot of detail.
Well, Ashley, I got to tell you, you got to get yourself over to McCoy Park at some point this winter because we just opened
I'm
it
so
up.
jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think? Like what would be the best audience
Takeaway?
to yeah,
Well,
like
yeah.
who,
So it's 17 new runs, which I think it'd be fun to do
okay.
every one of them. Crossing off the list. You know how we have the Talents Challenge, which is the
Oh
14
yeah.
most difficult black and double black diamonds in Eagle County. This could be like the opposite of the Talents Challenge, and it's the easiest runs. But I think it'd
Oh
be
yeah.
fun for you and your family to check them off the list. And they've got great names like Serenity and Affinity and Harmony. And they're really kind of evoking a feeling back there. And I was telling Meredith behind the camera this morning that you really feel like you're just someplace so far removed. The only building you see back there really is Mamie's, the back deck of Mamie's at the top of Betcher Gulch Lift, chair number 16. And then of course the new Eaton house, the warming hut that's up there, and then some bathrooms. But otherwise, you don't see anything. And then when you get back up, when you take the reunion lift, and that drops you off at the Upper Beaver Creek Mountain Express, and then Chair 12 Strawberry Park, then you see Beaver Creek, and you're like, oh, I'm back in civilization. But you just feel like you're back in time. And Carl Eaton, Earl Eaton's son, was there for the dedication of Eaton House. Earl Eaton, of course, was the co-founder of Vail with Pete Seibert and Beaver Creek. They actually looked at Beaver Creek first, but the people that owned the land weren't going to sell. So they kept on trucking over east. And Vail became first, and then Beaver Creek second. But Carl Eaton said his dad would be very happy to see that and so proud of it. And he said he'd like it. It's kind of understated. The warming hut isn't some big, glammy, glitzy, huge building. It's pretty traditional. And he said Earl would be proud.
Oh, that's so cool. I love the tradition and the history, and to be able to have, Earl's son to be part of this dedication. That, like, how special. I love that so much. And I know, that family has given so much to the ski industry here in the Valley. I mean, they've been huge staples as to what we experience now and what we've experienced back in the 60s, right?
Yeah. Exactly, totally. So yeah, we're really happy to have that open for everybody. So that increases Beaver Creek's terrain to about 80%. And actually, what's really neat is it's groomed and then ungroomed. So we've got some glades there, and the snow I was talking about earlier. You know how January just has the best snow. It doesn't get set up really unless we get really warm temperatures, but it's that cold air that keeps that snow so consistent from right when you get there till the end of the day. I like these days.
It is consistently crunchy. Let's see if I can get some audio.
Get some crunch.
Yeah.
Let's make some noise.
Can you? I don't know if you can hear it because of the river.
Oh, I
but
can
there's some good crunch going on. There's some good crunch happening.
Okay. Hey, Ashley, we've got some mountain lion talk to go on with the headlines today. So, we'll stick around. We'll talk about that when we come back. All right. Hey, we're going to let you know about headlines. We're going to give you some details on traffic and much more on VDL. And don't forget to chat with us. You can chat with us on YouTube and on Facebook. And we're also on Outside Television, Channel 17. We'll be right back.
You deserve more from your steak. You deserve the only steak that's guaranteed to be perfect every single time. At Omaha Steaks, we're delivering old school quality with a now school mentality. That means aging every steak for tenderness, carefully hand carving, and obsessing over every last detail, so you never second guess a single bite. For a limited time, get the best quality at the best value during our 50% off sale. Visit omahasteaks.com today. You deserve this.
All right, welcome back to VDL. I want to give you a look at the headlines. First, I want to thank Vail Mountain Coffee and Tea for fueling our adventures this morning. I've got a little peppermint tea going on today. I wonder what Ashley had. She was here earlier. A lot of times we'll grab the coffee here. Do we still have that Nordic blend? Meadow Mountain. Oh, Ashley likes the Meadow Mountain, so maybe she had that. But you can find them two different locations across from Meadow Mountain in Minturn, or just before you get to Minturn across from Highway 24. And then they're up at Beaver Creek. On your way to the Centennial Lift, you'll find them on the right-hand side of the escalators if you're going up. But what made headlines for today, Wednesday the 12th of January? Well, look who's back on the cover. It is Michaela Schifrin. She carves around a slalom pole as she speeds down the course Tuesday during the first run of a Women's World Cup slalom in Schladming, Austria. Schifrin earned her 47th World Cup win, and that brings us into our main headline today. She surpasses Ingemar Stenmark with this 47th World Cup. She'd been tied with him for a while, but this marks the most wins in a single discipline. Some more on this on page A29. Also in today's paper and local and regional news, Know Before You Go. In the cover photo there, you can see avalanche debris is pictured Sunday at the site of a fatal slide on Hoosier Pass, just over Vail Pass from us, south of Breckenridge. Experts share how to stay safe in Colorado backcountry after snowshoer deaths. You can learn more about that on page A2 and A12. And Vail Resorts to offer bonuses to hourly employees. All full-time and part-time employees will be eligible for a $2 per hour bonus at the end of the season. in. More on this on page A3. And Eagle County real estate market set to top 4 billion for 2021. Even with rising prices, county saw more sales in 2021 than in 2020. So get the scoop on what's going on with our local real estate market on page A4. And on page A5, mountain lion enters lodges in Lion's Head. Vail police responded to 2 incidents regarding the same mountain lion. Now you can read this in today's paper on page A5 and A18. You can also go online, because online is where you're going to find some of the video. We have security video from both the antlers and hours, all the way until the daylight hours came in. And, he's curious. He's trying to get out. He sees these windows. He doesn't quite understand. He takes a little rest and tries to get out once the daylight comes in. And I'm sure, he just can't quite figure out the windows. So, I just felt so bad for the kitty right in there. But he eventually does get out, because the antlers on the first floor, they have some open air walkways. And so you can directly get out from your room outside. Look at those people peeked out the door. Okay, so now he does this around 8:30. Okay, so these people are coming in from grabbing some breakfast. Then a lady goes out to walk her dog. And I think that is when the mountain lion finally figured out how to get out. So now he sees the lady and the dog. I spoke to the front desk person that gave me all this information. And he's like, okay, wait, what's that? Who are those? And he gets scared and he runs back in. And then eventually he does go back out. And then he's back out. He leaves them alone. They come back in. Here she is. So she's got her dog. She should put him on a leash. Wildlife, put it on a leash. And she goes, big mountain lion, big mountain lion. And then she's like, oh my gosh. And then she goes in, she grabs her dog again, and then she goes back inside. And they'd called everyone on the first floor. So everyone was aware of what was going on. And so that's some of the footage, but we also have footage of the Vail spa condominiums. Now I talked to Jeremy over there, and he said, I was happy to be by the front desk. I was taking the call. He's the assistant general manager. He's on the phone with one of the guests saying, hey, there's a couple of policemen walking around with a gun around the building. Should we be alarmed? And that's actually one of those kind of like a pepper gun. So it's not a big rifle or anything. It's more of something to help mitigate wildlife behavior. And so while he's on the phone, the automatic doors open, the cat runs through, and then a few seconds later, the police come in, and he's just like, all this is happening. He has no idea that it's already been at Antlers. So it was a crazy morning on Saturday. So you can read all about it in today's Vail Daily, or go online, because if you go online, you'll be able to see that surveillance footage that the Antlers clipped together from 2 a.m. to the early hours to around 8:30 when it exited the building. And then also we have the surveillance from the Vail Spa condos showing it going back in. So crazy day. Let's bring in Ashley so we could talk a little bit about some wildlife stories that I've heard lately. Ashley, isn't that wild?
That is crazy. I'm trying to get some shots of the wildlife that I'm encountering here in Vail for you. Basically, let's see if you can see them behind me. We have the fattest pigeons on the planet.
Oh, these pigeons!
So they're so funny. They walk around. They're so entitled. They just they like saunter. I was just following them like.
Why don't they go south? They need to go south.
because they're Vail birds, and I'm sure they're getting fed very well because they're not really intimidated by me. And they're all over the village. They're
They're
back
all
behind there
over getting their breakfast.
with big fat pigeons. I'll
Oh my
take this
gosh.
any day over mountain lion sightings, though. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yes, I know that, and it's very rare for us to ever, really see one like that, and most of it was caught
Right.
on camera. But actually, I also heard of a mountain lion story over in Glenwood Springs, where a mountain lion, they prey on elk and deer, and it was out on someone's front porch. So I don't know if the elk ran up there or if the mountain lion dragged it up there, but that was a story I heard this morning on the way to work. And then also a moose in a basement in Breckenridge. It did a number on the ping pong table, and then they couldn't get it. I mean, the antler rack, they couldn't get it out. So I don't know how it got in the basement. Sometimes I think they fall through the really big window wells, and that's how they sometimes get in. But yeah, so some strange tales of wildlife and human encounters. The only time I've seen a moose was I was going up Gondola 1, and I saw a mama underneath one of the Gandhi cars we were going. But otherwise, I've never seen. I know that they appear in parking garages and down on, Gore Creek Drive and everything. I've never seen those, but I did see one while I was in a gondola car traveling above it on a really super snowy day. So that was my one moose sighting.
I've seen a moose from Gondola One as well, which was so cool. So keep your eyes peeled as you make your way up the mountain. But also Trisha, I had to say I've been one of the lucky people, if you can call it lucky, that's had so many different moose encounters. But there was something about, like, I had a husky that, like, I swear she just knew where they were, and we would run into them all the time. But thankfully, I always had him on a leash, right? So,
Yeah.
like, we didn't have to worry
Totally.
about what might happen. So, keeping your animals on a leash, good idea. And then also, keeping your eyes peeled when you're on the gondola. Like, you may see them just, like, hanging out. So, keep your awareness about you, because you never know.
Exactly. Okay, you know what? I realized I forgot to do the road report. So let me, Meredith, should I do the road report? Okay. Hey, I'm going to do the road report. Hey, Ashley, how were the roads when you drove in this morning?
Honestly, so nice and clear. And I have to thank all of the snow removal crews with CDOT, with all of the local public works departments. They have been working so hard to, first of all, plow the snow, but then to come back in and to remove it and to make sure that those pathways are clear, whether you're on I-70 or if you're just, going through the roundabouts. But really, like, minimal icy spots. There's a few, but, like, the roundabouts were in good shape all the way from Eagle to Vail. So big thank you to our crews out there. Looking really.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit on some of the side streets and some of the approaches to stop signs and everything. So do be careful, especially when you are heading to the roundabout. But, we're looking good on the I-70 corridor, up Vail Pass through Dow Junction. It is a holiday weekend coming up, so expect to see traffic coming up even on Thursday night, Friday, all day Friday afternoon especially. But you can see we've got clear black ice. And especially if you're going over Vail Pass and passing Copper, between Copper and Frisco, Officers Gulch, there's a lot of shadows there. And sometimes the snow will, even if it melts during the day, may refreeze overnight. So just be careful of black ice. And then look for that traffic coming in into town Friday, even Thursday night, and then leaving. Sometimes people leave on Sunday, even though they do have the day off the next day. But Monday could be our heavier traffic day as people head back to the Front Range to either catch flights or to return home. So that's a quick look at your roads right now. So we've got more coming up. We're going to take it to a break. When we come back, we're going to give you some details on the weather, and we'll talk about some things going on up at Beaver Creek. Club One is a pivotal part of the Vail lifestyle, with spacious lockers to store all your gear in a ski-in, ski-out location. Club One is your mountain headquarters, stacked with club amenities and members-only perks. Club One, where the locals locker.
Let's go. Our lead you follow. There's nowhere we can't wander. I know you hear it calling to you.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Betteridge. Fine jewelry and watches with exceptional service since 1897, located in Solaris.
Time now to look at your weather, and as Ashley mentioned, a lot warmer out there compared to the temperatures she experienced last week. We're in the teens in Vail, a little bit cooler down valley just because of that inversion, but we've got 12 degrees on our thermometers here. Here's a live look, looking down at the West Vail roundabouts. You can see the traffic is moving smoothly. We've got the county buses going, the semis, and a little bit of cloud cover today, but mostly sunshine in the forecast. Really not a chance of moisture for your Wednesday. We're going to reach into the highs right around 36. Overnight lows back down into the teens. Clear throughout the evening. Winds not too bad as well. And then for your Thursday, we'll see a high right around the 40s, probably the warmest day of the week, warmest night of the week as well, with an overnight low of 24 degrees. And then as we look into the weekend forecast for your holiday weekend, Friday, we could see this chance of snow. It's not going to be a big storm. It'll probably just be maybe a couple of inches. According to Open Snow, Joel Gratz is calling for maybe 3 on one day, 1 on the other. So maybe 4 total out of this storm system. And then Friday night, we start to clear out. And then by Saturday, we'll have some sunshine in the afternoon, a little foggy in the morning, and then we'll get the sunshine back. And look at Saturday night's overnight low, below 0 on Saturday night into Sunday. But Sunday, a beautiful day, 33 degrees, so it should be good for your holiday weekend, MLK weekend coming up. And then once again, that Open Snow report, they're calling for just maybe a couple inches out of this. Over the next 5 days, maybe 4 inches total at Vail. Same thing goes over at Beaver Creek. So that's a quick look at your weather. Terrain-wise, we have opened up more terrain on both mountains. Vail just opened up Blue Sky Basin on Sunday. And Meredith, if you can scroll down on that, we've got 23, scroll back, 23 out of 33 lifts for you at Vail. We're 77% open and 245 trails out of 317. And Meredith said she was in Blue Sky Basin on Monday, and she said she felt like she had it all to herself. So Blue Sky, we're so happy it's open. Now just the Skyline Express is open. We don't have Pete's or Earl's Express open yet, but hopefully we'll be getting those open soon. And then over at Beaver Creek, we did open up the McCoy Park area. So this is a beginner and lower intermediate area. It's it's just to the west of Strawberry Park and to the south of Bachelor Gulch, if you will, if you can kind of notice that area. And it's where the Nordic Center used to be. The Nordic Center is still there. They have their snowshoe trails or cross-country trails already in the perimeter of that. And then in that bowl is where this beginner and intermediate terrain is. There's 14 beginner runs, 3 intermediate runs for 17 trails, 2 lifts, and we had a lot of fun in there. And so Arrowhead is open as well. Bachelor Gulch is open for you. So we've got a lot of terrain open for you now with the recent snowfall that we've had since the holidays. So that's a quick look at that. But speaking of Beaver Creek, we had a chance to talk to one of the members of Choir of Man, which is going to be the show tonight at the Villar Center. If you've never heard of the Villar Center, it's below the ice rink on the plaza level of Beaver Creek. You get to it by taking the escalators down. That's their lobby level, and then you go down another floor to their main level. And 530 seats, not a bad seat in the house. And Choir of Man has been receiving just awesome reviews. And it's a feel-good kind of show. It's 9 buddies who hang out at the pub. We've got the hard man. We've got the pub bore. We've got the handyman, the joker, the poet, the romantic, the maestro, the barman, and the beast. And they're all going to be singing a variety of pop shows. They're going to be pop songs, as well as, just some pub classics. It's been called a pub crawl, a concert. They might even hand out beer to the audience. When I talked to our guy Joshua Lloyd yesterday, he said, I'm not sure if we can do that from COVID, but we love being able to interact with the audience. So a wildly entertaining, joyful romp, according to Broadway World. They're going to be playing some instruments as well. So this will be at the Villar Center tonight, and we've got that at 7:30 p.m., so it should be an awesome, awesome show. And then if you like The Who, we've got that happening tomorrow. We're going to have the Hillbenders playing Whograss. So it's the songs from The Who played in a bluegrass style. So this will be Thursday at 7:30 p.m. This is part of the concert series. Should be an awesome show. And then on Sunday, Maxwell Quartet. This is going to be in the May Gallery, so a little bit of a more intimate setting. But those 4 guys are amazing. They're from the UK, and they'll be playing a variety of wonderful music. So Villar Performing Arts Center, villarpac.org is where you can find out some more information on that. But check out their schedule. Even just in the month of January, they have so many things going on. And you can get your tickets online right at the box office, which opens typically at about 11 a.m., and you're good to go. But right now, we're going to check in with Ashley. She's standing by outside. Let's see where she ended up. She's roaming around Vail. Okay, where are you now?
Okay, so Trisha, I thought this was appropriate since you were talking about McCoy Park opening earlier this week on Monday. You know, one of the nods you were speaking of was the Eaton house. And so if you want an idea of what Earl Eaton looked like, you can actually find a sculpture of him here in Vail Village. So this is a sculpture of Earl Eaton and Pete Seibert. So it's all about Pete's dream. Here's Pete. You can see him with his 10th Mountain Division hat. Let me see if I can get up here a little bit. There he is. And he's got his map down here, and he's just kind of like pointing at the ski area. So that's Pete. And then back up here, there he is. That's Earl up there, looking like the cowboy that he is. And so, Earl really knew the nooks and crannies of this area because he grew up around here. And so this little sculpture is cool. You can kind of learn a little bit more just about the history of how Vail came to be, and of course the artist behind this piece. But really, really cool just to see. Not only can you find, a little nod to history here in Vail Village, but now you have it as part of McCoy Park as well, and you get to warm up and you get to, experience this new part of the mountain thanks to some of these incredible members of our community that laid the groundwork so many years ago. But to learn a little bit more about McCoy Park and what's happening up at Beaver Creek, we had a chance to catch up with Rachel Levitsky. So let's send things over to Rachel to get more details.
He joins us now from Beaver Creek and Vail Resorts, and we are on the brand new McCoy Park Express chairlift in this beautiful area called McCoy Park as well. And Rachel, we're so happy that this is now open for the 2021-2022 season. How excited are you for this?
Oh my gosh, I am thrilled. This has been a labor of love. Decades worth of experience went into planning this expansion, and years of planning since we started working on it. It was an incredible timeline for construction.
Yeah, and you guys started it right when the mountain closed last year.
We started July 1st, and we are sitting here in January open. It has been amazing. We've built 17 new trails and 2 new chairlifts, the McCoy Park Express, which we're on right now, and the Reunion Lift. And it is just incredible out here. You couldn't ask for a better place to spend time.
Now, if you've gone Nordic skiing, you've been to this area, and they're still going to have the snowshoeing and the cross-country skiing. But Rachel, I really felt like I was on a trip. I felt like I'd been transported to someplace I'd never been before, which is true, because this bowl has really never been skied. We can see Mamie's deck in the background, and then all these trails. And I love the fact that it's kind of gladed. It's kind of just a naturally open bowl.
It's a naturally open bowl. It's got glades, but it's also groomed. It's perfect for beginners and intermediates, but there's something for the whole family. Trisha, like you mentioned, we have snowshoeing and Nordic skiing as well. So if someone doesn't want to ski or snowboard, they're welcome to come out and Nordic ski or snowshoe and then meet at the Eaton house, which is our new warming hut and grab and go F&B outpost. So, so excited. There's so much to explore out here.
And the Eaton house is named after one of the co-founders of Vail, Earl Eaton, but his son Carl Eaton, I just spoke to him and he said, hey, I've worked here for 39 years. You know, he's been with the company a long, long time. Really cool to see this legacy and this little piece of history.
There's tons of history out here in McCoy Park. McCoy Park is named after a homesteader, McCoy, from this area, and we love the homage that Eaton House pays to Earl Eaton. Earl was an early prospector of this terrain. He grew up actually hiking in these mountains, and he had this vision for Beaver Creek and Vail so long ago, and we're thrilled to offer this opportunity to our guests to ski and ride in this gorgeous area.
Okay, now Rachel, we've got a lot of fun runs. We've got runs named Serenity. We've got runs named Harmony. What's behind the names?
So it's really paying, you know, attention to how you feel out here. This is a natural, gorgeous area with views of the Gore Range and the Sawatch Range, which is something our guests at Beaver Creek haven't really seen before. It's a totally new angle of the Gore Range and a totally new view of the Sawatch Range. And so we've got exploration and discovery, and it's an amazing area to explore and feel like you're in nature. So we hope you feel bliss out here. That's one of our trails.
Oh yes. Oh man, we got to go take bliss, and that'll be fun for to get out and try to ski every one of these trails because there's 17 of them. It's gonna take you a while.
Everyone has something different, like you mentioned, Trisha. The natural groomable glades out here give every run something a little bit different and a new challenge for our skiers. This is the third installment of our signature parks collection. So we have Hay Meadow Park and Red Buffalo Park, and now we've got McCoy Park too. So something for the whole family, a great place to learn to ski.
All right, we can't wait to get out on here. So it's McCoy Park. You access it from a chair number 12, Strawberry Park, or also the lower and upper Beaver Creek Mountain Express lift. So a couple different ways to get here.
You can also come from Larkspur Chair 11 as well. So there's tons of different adventures to bring up in McCoy Park.
Xterra, apparel for your active lifestyle. Visit xterraplanet.com today. Enter the promo code CHECK20 at checkout for an extra 20% off regularly priced merchandise.
Bright Future Foundation empowers families and individuals affected by domestic violence and sexual assault through prevention, crisis intervention, advocacy, and long-term healing services. Join us in making futures bright for survivors in our community.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Live Sotheby's International Realty, Colorado's leading real estate firm. Contact their Vail Valley broker professionals today to help you live the life you love.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, if you're just waking up, here's what's going on with your weather for your Wednesday, the 12th of January already, 12 days into the new year, 2022. And we're going to see more sunshine today. We also have a little bit of cloud cover, so it won't be crystal clear blue skies that we've seen earlier in the week. But hey, we'll take it. Good travel. You could see this live shot of the West Vail exits, the roundabouts, I-70 down below, and then off in the distance, the Gore Range, the sun just starting to crest some of the upper mountains. And that's why we sometimes see temperatures warmer in the higher elevations than the lower elevations because the heat rises and it's a little bit cool down on the valley floor until the sun hits it a little bit later on. We're in the teens right now. We'll reach into the mid-30s by later on today. Overnight lows will get us back down into the low teens. And then for your Thursday, we're going to see partly sunny with a high right around the upper mid-40s and then lows at 24 degrees with a little bit of cloud cover, kind of putting a blanket of insulation, keeping it a little warmer as our overnight low right there in the 20s. And then for Friday, we've got about a 50% chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a high right around the 30s. And then according to OpenSnow.com, we could see maybe 4 inches out of this at Vail and Beaver Creek. Not a huge storm. And then by Saturday, we'll start to clear out. Sunday, we'll see some sunny conditions for your holiday weekend, MLK weekend here up at Vail and Beaver Creek. And there are those totals for you. Maybe 3 at both locations, Vail and Beaver Creek on Friday, and then lingering into Saturday before we clear things on out. And then we don't really have much of a storm system system coming in, maybe a little bit next week, but we're looking pretty dry for the next couple of days. But we did receive so much snow for the holidays. We're excited about that. We're excited to have areas like McCoy Park open again. We just showed you that interview with Rachel Levitsky with communications at Vail and Beaver Creek. And then you can see that view, that wonderful bowl. So that's open, bringing Beaver Creek to about 80% of their terrain. That's open now. And then over at Vail, we're about 77% open. We opened Blue Sky Basin in the last couple of days. Sunday was when they dropped the ropes on that on the Skyline Express. So that brings us to 23 lifts out of 33, and then 245 trails out of 317. So not all of Blue Sky Basin is open. In fact, Pete's Express and Earl's Lift, they are still closed, and they hope to get lifts like the Pride Express over in Lions Head maybe open by this weekend, so due to the holiday weekend. So just keep your ears peeled to us, and we'll let you know when they open that on up. But let's take it outside to Ashley now and find out where in the world she is in Vail Village. Okay, where did you make your way to?
Okay, so I'm just kind of taking myself for a walk this morning, Trish. I'm just kind of exploring the sights and the sounds. And we've got part of the ice sculptures here next to Gore Creek, and again, more pigeons, more people out walking their dogs. But there's so many cool little nooks and crannies around the village, and so I'm just kind of going to some of my favorite spots, and one of them is just over here at the International Bridge. So I'm trying to get here quickly so I can show you. But I love the lanterns that are still hanging up above the bridge. Hold on just a second. Here's a couple right here, right along the river.
Oh,
and then as you look up above, they're just so bright and colorful. And then, right against that Colorado bluebird sky that we love so much. So, I mean, this is just one of those places that welcomed you to the mountain. I mean, how cool is it? Like, it's so special. I love it. And then, of course, behind me, as I head to Solaris, you can see the mountain, and it's just, I mean, what a beautiful start to our Wednesday morning. We've got Gore Creek also flowing very nicely at the moment. So I'm just going to show you over here, and you have those pillows of the rocks just completely covered in all that snow that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. So, I mean, there's just so many different things to explore, even if you're not going to be getting up on the mountain, but maybe you just want to grab that cup of coffee and just take yourself for a walk like I do. And then, of course, if you want some good reading material after our show is over, you can just pick up any one of the free Vail Daily magazines. We've got the best of the Vail Valley, so you can kind of, see what the locals pick as their number ones. And then, of course, we also have our free Vail Dailies, which you can pick up each and every day. So, I'm just, like, honestly, I didn't really have much of a plan this morning. I just wanted to get out and just kind of be a tourist in my own little town and just enjoy. And also just be able to, before I go into the office, get outside, see my breath a little bit.
Hey, you're getting some steps in. You're gonna meet your exercise goal by 8:30. Hey, you know what? I haven't noticed those picnic tables behind you. So those blue picnic tables, they must have brought those in. So you know what? If you do grab lunch someplace, especially when we have a nice afternoon, like we're gonna have, especially when we see the high in the 40s tomorrow, it might be good just to grab something, bring it out there, and just eat along the creek. So I didn't know they had those there. That's new.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you discover something new every time you're out here, and as the seasons change, there's just different ways to enjoy it. And something that you're always gonna enjoy is a little memento of your time here in the mountains, and one that maybe doesn't take up a whole lot of room in your suitcase, or maybe like no room at all because you're wearing it. And one of the places where you can find such things is Betteridge Jewelers. And they've been in business now since the late 1800s, and they have gorgeous jewelry, estate pieces. They also have some fantastic watches. So they really have something, for everyone, in these heirlooms that you're going to have for generations to come. But they're right here behind the big martini glass in Solaris. And so if you haven't been in before, I always tell it's like an experience. You walk in and it just keeps expanding. But let's send things in to find out more from Lance Fry. He's one of my absolute favorites. We call him the GOAT because, my goodness, the man knows his jewelry. So let's head on inside with Lance.
We're talking Cartier watches with Lance from Betteridge, and this is one of your favorite topics. You love watches, especially Cartier.
Watches, Cartier, yes to everything you just said. I enjoy watches tremendously, and we're lucky enough to have an incredible collection of watches. Cartier, IWC, Panerai, Bell & Ross, JLC, Rolex, Tudor, blah, 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 blah. I could keep going, but we're going to talk about just Cartier today.
All right, and we have a few we're going to show you. We're going to start with this one.
So we're going to start with this one a little bit. I think the history on this company is very important. Cartier started in 1847, first and foremost a jeweler. That's what they're known for. So their pieces are very aesthetically pleasing, honestly. It's more like a beautiful piece of jewelry that happens to tell time.
Yeah.
That's very important when you talk about Cartier, and that's what this is about. And the interesting thing about this one is this is actually the Santos. This started in the early 1900s is when they first started making this piece here.
Okay.
This is called the Santos De Cartier. This one is in all steel.
Wow.
It has a blue dial.
Okay. Amazing.
And this actually bracelet comes off and you can transfer it and put it onto a leather strap.
Okay, so a little versatility there.
A little versatility. That's an automatic movement, meaning the wrist, your movement of your wrist will do it, change it. This is called the Santos Dumont, another version of this, a little dressier. This is a slimmer piece. This one is done in steel and gold. So that one makes it a little more wearable, a little more dressy.
Yeah, I love that.
This one comes in 3 different sizes, a beautiful alligator strap with that one.
All right.
Okay, we're going to talk one more men's watch before we get into some ladies' pieces. This one's very unique. This one is a very much a dress piece. This is done in 18-karat rose gold with a brown alligator on it. Some of the things that you see on this dial, it has that guilloche, that kind of starburst dial that's happening there.
Yep.
You also have Roman numerals, which is very, very Cartier. There's a date, and there's also a power reserve, that little function on the bottom. When that is fully wound, that moves over, and you get your watch is fully wound.
Okay.
I know, it's very cool.
Yeah,
very
just
Cartier.
the mechanics of it is amazing. Ooh, look at this one.
This one's beautiful. This one's called the Panther, and this is something that they introduced probably 50 years ago. This one is done in 18-karat gold with a diamond bezel. Okay. This is a quartz movement, meaning it's a battery. It's very easy to take care of. And there is a diamond in the crown on this one as well.
Oh, yeah, you can see it right on the side.
Very cool.
Oh, I love the detail.
It is. Very, very traditional piece.
Okay.
And one last one. We just got this one in, so I wanted to show it off a little bit.
Wow.
This is one of their newest collections, the Bull on Blue. It's done very well for them. It's a round collection with a covered crown. This is done in solid 18-karat rose gold, diamond bezel, and this is an automatic movement in this one as well. So the movement of your wrist is going to wind this thing for you.
Okay, amazing. Oh my gosh, I would be telling you the time all day long if I was wearing one of these.
Even if it's wrong, right?
Yeah. Oh, just amazing. And you know, watches, they're collector items. They're something you could pass down.
Absolutely.
They're investments.
Yep, they are absolutely that, especially the passing down. We see that all the time. This is something I want my son to have. This is something I want my daughter to have. And that is very true, especially when you talk about pieces like Rolex and Cartier, that type of heritage, you can just hand down to them.
Okay, well, you can come in and talk watches all day long with Lance. You guys are here?
We are here 10 to 6. We're down on the lowest level of Solaris, right next to the ice rink.
Okay, check it out.
Winter is coming, and you can enjoy every minute with Outside Plus, your membership to the outdoors. Whether you're exploring the backcountry or your local trails, Outside Plus has you covered. With expert advice on gear, product discounts, premium access to Outside TV and the Gaia GPS app, and inspiring content delivered from the most respected names in the outdoors. Become an Outside Plus member today to get free tickets and VIP access to this year's Warren Miller film. Join at warrenmiller.com/Outside Plus.
The owner of this Apple Watch has taken a hard fall and is not responding to their watch. The emergency location is latitude 47.7, longitude -117.5 with an estimated search radius of 41 meters. This message will repeat in 5 seconds.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Karat's Jewelers, creating heirlooms for over 50 years.
All right, I want to give you a last look at the weather so you can help plan your day, plan what you're going to wear out there. Now, once again, it is a little cool when you start out in the morning, but once the sun gets a bit higher in the sky, you're going to find that sunshine is going to warm things up quite nicely. I was sitting out at McCoy Park at the brand new Eaton house yesterday, getting ready to interview Carl Eaton, the son of Earl and one of the co-founders of Vail and Beaver Creek. And I was just sitting there. There was no wind. It was so peaceful. It was so beautiful. And the temperature was just perfect. So temperatures are going to rise into the mid-30s, which is pretty nice for January. Overnight lows will go back into the teens, and then we'll start to see the clouds build on Thursday. Even though the temperatures will be warmer, the clouds will start to build, which won't really affect the temperature. A little bit warm front coming through. And then by Friday, we have a 50% chance of snow showers. Not a lot of accumulation out of this storm. Open snow is calling for 3 to maybe 4 inches over the 24 to 36 hour period. And then by Saturday, we'll see sunshine with the high back into the 20s and 30s, depending on where you're at. And Sunday as well, we'll see temperatures right around the 30s. For the holiday weekend, we do have Martin Luther King Jr. weekend kicking off with maybe Monday as a day off for some people. So expect to see the crowd starting to drive up on Thursday night, Friday during the day, and then clearing out by about Monday. But we're excited to have another holiday weekend among us. And once again, we'll see maybe 1 to 4 inches out of this, three to 4 out of this storm. Now, terrain-wise, we did open more terrain over at Vail. We do have Blue Sky Basin open, Skyline Express, Chair 37, but not Pete's Express and Earl's Express lift yet. But you can travel some of that area like Montaigne Glade. You just take Kelly's Toll Road all the way back to the lift to get back up. But I've heard it's great back there. Hopefully you can experience that on a nice sunny day like today. And then over at Beaver Creek, we've been talking about it all morning, all week. McCoy Park opening for you as well. And this is more of a beginner area. They have 14 beginner trails and 3 intermediate, kind of lower intermediate. But just to go back there and experience it is super cool. And then the Eaton House is available for a little warming up. You don't need much warming up. I would suggest go out on that deck. You could see the Swatch range like you've never seen it. The views from there are just so spectacular because unless you've been out on those cross-country trails, you haven't seen that view before. So it's definitely a must-do on your list during your stay. But don't take my word for it. Let's bring Ashley in. And Ashley, have you been up to the Nordic Center at Beaver Creek before? Have you been out on those trails?
You know, I haven't actually been to the Nordic Center. I participated in their snowshoe series race, and that actually, the first one is coming up on Sunday, by the way, if you're interested in getting involved in that. But so cool just to be out there, and especially like in the aspen groves, and to see Beaver Creek in a way that you've never seen it before when you're out snowshoeing and Nordic skiing. So I'm very excited to get up to McCoy and actually, see what they've done up there. But typically when I'm at Beaver Creek, I'm playing in the trees and my snowboard, and then otherwise doing the snowshoe series race. So yeah, I mean, so much to offer, and what it like. It's just. I would encourage you, if you've never done it before, to try a little snowshoeing at one of the resorts, because the way that you get to just kind of soak it in, it's a little bit different than being on the lift and being able, skiing and going by things really quickly. But if you're out there exploring on your feet, you really get to know a place,
Yeah, you definitely do. Well, Ashley, we got a little bit of chat this morning. So we have Scott Munns chiming in. So, he plays periodically at Bridge Street Bar. He was a staple okay, we'll talk about Neil Groff first. So Neil is watching us from Maui. It's totally awesome watching each of you from our Maui sunrise and our favorite wonderful newscast from our Vail home. Neil, thanks for chiming in this morning from Maui. I don't think we've had anyone from Hawaii so far. And then Scott Munns, he plays at Bridge Street Bar, but he used to be a staple at the old club, which is now the Shakedown. And he says, "Yo, still celebrating." So Scott is a big Georgia Bulldogs fan, and he was at the game. Ashley, you should see some of his pictures. He was there, and that was such an exciting time. Georgia beating Alabama, first time since what, 1980? So
It's been like
1970,
like almost.
it's been decades.
I heard it was like 42 years.
Yeah,
I think since
41.
they had a national championship. Which Scott, also, let me just tell you. I mean, I'm a Florida Gator, and in our household, my dad is a huge Alabama fan, which I just don't understand. So you know what? Go Dogs on this one. Go Dogs. I usually every now and then I'll get a voicemail from my dad that just roll Tide. I'm like, no, roll Tide, no.
They've rolled enough Tide. We're ready to let the dogs.
They have rolled enough Tide. So
I'm
excited to see the Bulldogs do so well. That's awesome.
Yeah, perfect. And then Dan Elliott is saying good morning to us as well. So we're happy for everyone to be chiming in. And hey, just so you know, we did get a new YouTube page. New year, new YouTube. So search Vail Valley Live. And that'll bring you to our new YouTube page, and then hit subscribe, set the alerts so you know when we're going live in the mornings and everything. But Ashley, I see that you're in front of Karat's right now.
Yes. So, okay, Trisha, I know, listen, we're in January, but we are about a month away from Valentine's Day. I know, like I'm already starting to see it in the supermarket. So I thought it would be important to maybe point out that if you're looking to maybe create an heirloom for your loved one for Valentine's Day, maybe hit up Karat's, because it's a working studio gallery. So like, for instance, Dan Telleen, whose name is on the sign, he's been doing this for over 50 years now, but he helped me create the coolest bracelet for my mom. So I had this earring, she let me borrow these gorgeous earrings from like the 70s for this big event, and I lost one of them, and I was so upset about it, but I still had one, and it's big. It's like a big, like, dangly gold thing. Anyway, so I brought it in, and I was like, Dan, could you just make another pair of earrings out of this for me so I could give this back to my mom? And he was like, Ashley, like, there's enough here. Why don't we make a bracelet? Which I never would have thought to do. Anyway, he created this gorgeous bracelet. She loves it, and it's just so special, and it's something that like nobody else has in the world. It's one of a kind, and he helped me create it for her. So if you're looking for something that's really meaningful and would be a beautiful Valentine's Day gift, maybe give Dan a call and see if he might be able to create a little something for you too.
Oh yeah, I know. I love that when your jewelry has a story behind it, some kind of meaning, very special, and that's really cool that you were able to repurpose the jewelry. Because I was talking to Hillary over at Squash Blossom, and one of her kind of New Year's resolution ideas for people is to look at your jewelry box, look at the things you don't wear, and then figure out how to repurpose those stones. And they can do that for you. Like, they can reset it. They can turn, a ring into earrings, or an earring into a bracelet. So there's a lot of different things that it doesn't have to just sit in the box and never be looked at or worn. So yeah, check that out. Get out there. Now, it looks pretty quiet out there. You see much activity?
Honestly, like, it's just because of where I'm standing, I think, at this point, because I can see it, like, there's cars coming into the park, and there's people that are definitely milling about, but of course, I'm a little bit further away from the lift, so it's a little bit more quiet here, but I just thought, this is such a cool shot along Meadow Drive, and with Karat's, like, I love, like, the little details, right, along the door frame, like, you have the little flowers, and it makes you feel like you're just in this little Bavarian nook, and right behind it, you have the Austria House, which, of course, is all decked out. And then let me see if I can show you this. This is one of my favorite things about the location for Karat's. Can you see the clock tower back there?
Yeah, I love that.
And yeah, you even have like the little Bavarian girl in her dirndl right next to the bell. So, those chime, and it's again something that you experience in Vail at the top of the hour. So you'll hear it. Maybe we'll even probably won't get to it before the show ends, but it's just one of those things that the sights and the sounds that bring you right back here. Like, if you're watching from Maui, you hear those chimes, and you're like, oh, Village.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? And the winter art walk tours are going to start up on Wednesdays in February. So not right now, but once those start, they point out a lot of those things, the different artwork that's, on the walls, the painting, and I can't remember the name of it, but there's a German word for that type of style. And then of course the kind of the little glockenspiels and the clock towers. And then over at Arabelle, like there's so much public art that you walk by every day that you don't even notice. And so it's kind of neat to hear that from the professionals, the art in public places. So they'll be starting those art walks the first Wednesday in February, and then every other Wednesday. They do have the Vail Village historical tours that are Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then speaking of tours, Ashley, up at the Nature Discovery Center at the top of the Eaglebond Gondola, number 19, the guided snowshoe tours, those are Wednesdays through Saturdays. You can do the 11 to 12 noon. You can do the 2 to 3 p.m. And then once the gondola opens, you'll be able to do the 5 to 6 p.m. And that's really cool to do, especially now when our daylight hours are still a little short. You kind of have, you go out when it's light and you come back when it's kind of getting dark, and that's where the animals get more active. I mean, you might be able to see like a fox or a hare, a snowshoe hare or something out there.
Well, and I did notice that today our sunset is at 5:02 p.m. Trisha has officially gone back into the 5 o'clock hour, which I'm very excited about. But speaking of that public art, look at this right next to you, the outside the parking structure. You have one of these murals, which is great for taking selfies, and it's so bright and colorful. And it's just here it is at the base of our parking structure. I mean, Vail thinks of everything when it comes to making it all beautiful, right?
Now, is that the Kelsey Montague? I think it has her name.
It is, yeah.
Okay, do you know that when she was here painting, so Molly Eppard from Art in Public Places was telling me this, that a lot of Taylor Swift fans were coming out of the woodwork because sometimes where Kelsey is, Taylor is. So they're like, could Taylor Swift be making a special appearance? Now, she didn't, but you never know.
You never know. I mean, it seems like a pretty popular place to be right now. This morning, we got families. See, they're all starting to come out of the woodwork. Here they are.
There they are. Yeah. Everyone's coming.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's a very beautiful little selfie spot. So why would if I was Taylor Swift, I'd want to come and take my photo. And what's cool about it is that she's created these little benches so you can kind of pretend like you're on the swing among the butterflies, and it's so colorful, so vibrant. And I mean, again, they kind of think of everything. Who would typically be like, parking structure, great place for beautiful public art.
Yeah, totally. All right. Hey, I forgot we got Knapp Ranch we got to talk about. So Ken Hovey went down there, and this is in Eagle Ranch near your neck of the woods. And I love the fact that they, support so many regional farmers. They have great eats, but we're going to find out what's happening there in January. Here's more.
As if you couldn't be any more excited about living in Western Eagle County and in Eagle, we now have Knapp Harvest. Joining me right now, Carrie Hogan with Knapp Harvest. I'm going to be honest, it's my first time being in here. This place is incredible.
Isn't this awesome?
So cool.
We have had such a welcome to from this neighborhood here. This is just what people were looking for. I mean, we opened this during COVID.
Well, tell us about it. I mean, I walk in, I feel healthier
just by breathing
stepping in the door.
So the concept is to support all of our Colorado local farmers, fruit producers, all of that kind of thing, milk, eggs, all of that. So we're kind of an indoor farmers market, open 7 days a week, all year round. So you're going to find...
I feel the vibe here.
Right? You see Avon Bakery, you see Vail Meats, you see Caleb's Catch. So we are celebrating all of our vendors here that make things local and sustainable and organic, and putting them all under the same roof, and it couldn't be more fun. We've got gifts. We've got, of course, our honey from Nectar, but our produce we do definitely look and source very carefully.
That's what I want to talk about today.
Oh my God! Okay,
vegetables.
There's so much to learn. So with the citrus, the reason citrus in the wintertime comes to fruition is because nature knows you need all this vitamin C. We, especially right now, to keep healthy, Really think about what you're putting in your body. So
Where do
all
these
of
come
it
from?
right over the side of Arizona, but they're a small family organic, and a lot of the produce and citrus have gone to non-organic. The other thing to keep you nice and healthy during the wintertime are our beautiful mushrooms that we're growing at Knapp Farm, up at Knapp Ranch.
Where is this?
So this is up at the top of Lake Creek in Edwards at 9,000 feet.
Okay.
So these come in fresh every week from Knapp Ranch. So this is what we're about celebrating. Osage Gardens is our organic herb farm. So we really love to have,
I know.
yes.
Look at that tomato.
It's a tomato.
Let's just talk about the eating, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so important right now. I just turned 50.
Oh, my God.
I'm actually focusing on my health now, thinking
Good.
about the things I consume. And so oftentimes, you know, you'll have a vegetable and you'll look at it on the counter like 3 weeks later and it looks the same. And it's because they can add preservatives and things that aren't necessarily good for your body, whereas this, it's all natural.
You know, and the other thing you think about is when you're getting that stuff from the big grocery stores, they're coming from Chile, they're coming from all over the place. So they pick them green and they ripe them in transit, which is not the right way. And also you lose a lot of vitamins and minerals and all of that. Besides, we're a small community. We should be supporting each other.
You mentioned that you're open 7 days a week.
We
what
are.
are your hours?
So we are open Monday through Friday, and we're open 10 till 6, and then on Saturdays and Sundays, 10 till 4.
And what do you find are the most popular items?
All right, well, it's going to be our second nature organic meals to go. Salads, all sorts of things. So that's our number one, is that we really support the neighborhood by going, oh my God, thank God I can get a meal quick. And so then we also support them by, we have all sorts of really wonderful foods, like olive oil is one of the most adulterated foods in the world, and we make sure we source it correctly so you're not getting any of those additives. Same with honey. Honey is adulterated as well. And our Knapp's nectar takes care, our beekeeper sources to make sure that it's all 100% honey. We take care of 20 hives up and down this valley. Aren't I having fun?
I know. I want to see you in your beekeeper's
Oh, you
outfit.
should. Yeah, it's pretty
I want
funny.
everyone to stop by and see you all. It is so easy to find you, located right on Sylvan Lake Road.
Right here.
Pull right up front, pick things up, healthy eats on the go.
Absolutely.
Or do all the shopping that you need for the week. Great to see you, Carrie.
Great to see you. We'll also do curbside. So call us if you're in any doubt about your health. We'll do it.
Easy enough. Just
there you
walk
go.
outside with a whole bunch of mushrooms.
And these are really good for you.
And you're on your way. Stop by and see them down here at Knapp Harvest. Back to you.
Maui Jim Sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
Knapp Harvest is your marketplace for locally produced products like seasonal organic produce, meats, eggs, dairy, breads, flowers, Knapp nectars, and more. It's the holidays, and Knapp Harvest can help you with all the ingredients to make your holiday meals delicious. Or we have take and bake meals if you're in a rush. Knapp Harvest has fabulous gift ideas for everyone on your gift list. Knapp Harvest, your indoor farmers market, open 7 days a week in Eagle Ranch. All right, the lifts are open at Vail already, 8:30 to 3:30. Keep in mind the back bowls, Blue Sky Basin, they do close a little bit earlier, so maybe make your way out there first and then work your way to back to the front side of the mountain. Over at Beaver Creek, they open 9 to 4, but McCoy Park, Arrowhead, Bachelor Gulch, they close a little bit earlier than Main Beaver Creek Mountain. So always be aware of that so you're not all of a sudden stranded. And you're not really stranded because they do have Dial Ride and the buses that'll bring you back, but it's just good to be able to go on the lifts schedule, and it's a little easier to get yourself back to Main Beaver Creek Village. But let's bring in Ashley before we say goodbye, and I'll let you know about a few more things going on today. So Ashley, once again, that choir of man, when Rachel and I, when we interviewed Joshua Lloyd, we looked and there's just a few tickets left. I think this is going to be a sellout show. Great part of the Broadway series at the Valar Performing Arts Center. But what a cool time to kind of have a pub feeling and then this whole sing-along. So lots of great music tonight.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool show. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Broadway, and it sounds like it's a very unique opportunity to enjoy a show that's it seems like it's new and it's fresh. So love that. Love the new ideas. And Trisha, I just kind of made a big old circle,
Yeah, you
right?
did.
And just kind of did a Vail Village loop this morning. But you can see we have more people that are coming in from the parking lot and making their way toward the mountain. And again, still holding steady at about 17 degrees out here this morning. So once that sun starts to hit the valley floor, it'll certainly warm things up a little bit. But I think it's going to be a beautiful day to get out and do some skiing, some riding, or just to come out and explore and maybe enjoy a little, cup of coffee or some lunch here in the village.
Oh, yeah. And those new picnic tables that they put over by the International Bridge. Bring your family over
Exactly.
there. Okay, well, thank you this morning. I know we got to get you off for your day, and we got to wrap things up. Thanks to our chatters as well. Don't forget, if you're just catching us, you can watch us on Roku. We're on demand as well on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and we're on TV 17 live at 7:30 to 8:30-ish. It's 8:40 right now. We're going to wrap it up. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
It's winter and we are back. VDL streams everywhere.
On the mountain, off the mountain.
On every screen.
On Facebook, YouTube,
on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Spotify.
And now, we're on Outside TV 17.
Live and on demand, 7 days a week.